You have fallen asleep roughly 25,000 times in your life, and you have never once remembered doing it. Not the moment, not the crossing over. You remember lying there. You remember waking up. The seconds in between are simply gone every single night for your entire life. This isn't a bad memory. It's not age, and it's not you. Your brain is deliberately refusing to record it. And once you understand why, you'll never think about your own memory the same way again. Let's start with what falling asleep actually feels like from the inside. There is a state between awake and asleep called hypnagogia. Your thoughts stop being sentences and start being fragments, a face you don't recognize, a word that means nothing. The sensation of falling, having that sometimes your leg kicks, that's a hypnic jerk, and most people get them. During hypnagogia, you are still conscious. Your brain is producing thoughts, images, even short hallucinations. You are experiencing things. So why can't you retrieve any of it 30 seconds later? Here's the experiment that made this obvious. Sleep researchers bring volunteers into a lab, wire up their heads, and wait. The moment the brain waves cross into stage 1 sleep, they wake the person up and ask one simple question: were you asleep? Most of them say no. They insist they were awake the entire time. Their own brain activity says otherwise. The transition is right there on the monitor, unmistakable. They just have no record of it. Wake someone 5 minutes into sleep and they will usually deny they were ever asleep. Wait 10 or 15 minutes and they start admitting it. Somewhere inside that window, memory switches back on. If your own brain keeps hiding things from you, take 1 second and subscribe. It genuinely helps this channel grow. So what exactly is shutting off? The answer is a structure buried deep in your temporal lobe, shaped like a seahorse. The hippocampus. Almost nothing becomes a long-term memory without passing through it first. Your hippocampus takes the raw experience and files it. That happened in this place, in this order. Damage it, and a person can hold a full conversation and never remember having had it. And as you fall asleep, the hippocampus stops taking input. Not gradually. It changes job. Because here's what your brain does at night that nobody told you about. The hippocampus doesn't go quiet during sleep. It gets busy. It starts replaying the day, firing the same patterns from your waking hours, compressed, at many times the original speed, over and over. That replay is how a fragile memory becomes a permanent one. Your hippocampus is copying the day into your cortex for long-term storage. And it cannot record new input and replay old input at the same time. So the switch flips. Recording stops, playback begins, and you, lying there in the dark, fall into the gap. Now, if that's true, something strange should follow. The images you see while falling asleep should be built by a different system entirely, one that doesn't need the hippocampus at all. Researchers tested exactly that, and the result is remarkable. They had people play the puzzle game Tetris for hours, then woke them at the moment of sleep onset. Most reported the same thing: falling blocks, rotating shapes, drifting behind their eyes. Then they ran it with patients who had severe amnesia, people whose hippocampus was damaged. Those patients could not remember playing the game. They didn't recognize the researchers. They didn't know what Tetris was, and they still saw the falling blocks as they drifted off. The experience was there. The memory of where it came from was not. There's a second layer to all of this, and it's chemical. Writing a memory needs specific neurochemicals, acetylcholine and noradrenaline, at waking levels. As you drift off, noradrenaline collapses. Your brain is still generating experience, but the ink has run out. The pen keeps moving across the page. Nothing appears. This is why the last thing you remember at night is never the last thing that happened. You remember the page you were reading. You don't remember closing the book, putting it down, or turning off the light. Those actions happened. You performed them. They were never written. Now here's where this stops being a curiosity and starts being useful. This Edison used to nap, holding steel balls in his hands, sitting in a chair. When he crossed into sleep, his grip released, the balls hit the floor, and the noise woke him. Salvador Dali did the same thing with a key and a metal plate. Both of them claimed the ideas they caught in that half second were their best. For a century, that sounded like superstition. Then researchers in Paris actually tested it. They gave people a maths problem with a hidden shortcut, let them doze off holding an object, and woke them the instant they dropped it. The people caught in that thin sliver of early sleep were dramatically more likely to spot the hidden trick. Not the ones who stayed awake. Not the ones who slept deeper. Only the ones pulled back out of the doorway. There is a creative state in there. Most nights, you walk straight through it and remember nothing. The same blind spot has a much darker version. A microsleep is a lapse of a few seconds where your brain simply drops offline. Eyes may stay open. Hands stay on the wheel. And because memory is already off, the driver has no experience of having gone. This is ask them afterwards, and they'll tell you they were awake the whole time with total sincerity. They are not lying. They just weren't recording. The same mechanism creates one of the most frustrating problems in medicine. Some people with insomnia are convinced they slept 2 hours when the lab recorded 7. It's called sleep state misperception, and they are not exaggerating. They genuinely have no memory of those hours. And with no memory of sleeping, the brain reaches the only conclusion available: I must have been awake. They aren't sleeping badly. They're failing to record sleeping well. And the blind spot exists at the other end of the night too. The first minute or two after waking is often lost as well. Your hippocampus needs time to come back online. Which is why you can silence an alarm, answer a question, and have no memory of either. Some people hold entire phone calls in that window. The person on the other end remembers it perfectly. They remember nothing at all. So step back and look at what this really means. Every single night, your consciousness continues past the last thing you can recall. You had thoughts. You saw images. You existed in that gap. And there is no version of you that can ever reach it. Your memory isn't a recording of your life. It's a heavily edited summary, written by a system that clocks off before you do. The parts you can recall are simply the parts that got filed. Tonight, try to catch the moment. Lie down and pay attention to exactly when you cross over. You will fail. Everybody fails. Not because it happens fast, but because the part of you that would remember it has already gone to sleep. Your brain is keeping other things from you. Subscribe, and I'll show you the next one.